Hello and welcome to another episode of Gig and Tell podcast. I'm Tash.
I'm Fair.
And today we thought we'd hit on a bit of a more controversial topic kind of episode today.
All the controversial topics.
Yeah, I feel like we don't really talk about drama so much on this podcast because we're just light-hearted music chat. But we're talking about some controversial music topics today, I'd say. Just because we've been discussing things recently of like just things that have popped up that have like annoyed somebody or whatever, and then we've gone, maybe that's a interesting talking point for the podcast. So shall we start off with Sabrina? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So someone that I know was recently talking about how they didn't enjoy seeing Sabrina. Now, we've seen Sabrina, I think, just over a year ago as we're filming this.
Yeah, it was like a year and 2 days ago.
Yeah, and when we went to see her, I absolutely loved it. You know, I feel like everyone kind of knows what she's about. She's very, how would you word it? Just very sexy on stage.
Yeah. That's an accurate way of putting it. Very sensual.
Yes, and there's been a bit of a controversy around for a long time about it, a few years I'd say, of how she performs on stage with like people wanting to take their kids to go and see her because like she releases pop music, so a lot of younger kids like that kind of style of music. So they listen to it. The parents think, okay, I'll go and take my kid to see her, and then obviously she's slightly inappropriate maybe for a younger audience.
Slightly. Just slightly.
Not with her whole bed set up on the stage, you know. But we move. So yeah, just I don't know. What do you think about it?
I think that all the parents love putting the blame on Sabrina, and I think maybe the blame is on the parents.
Okay.
I think you should know what you're taking your child to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand that you can't control what they get exposed to necessarily if they're out and about. Like, if they're at a friend's house and their friend's parent is fine with their kid being on TikTok and watching what's trending and they'll want to go and see it. But it's all good you complaining about it being inappropriate for kids, but it was never marketed for kids.
No, and her music videos are just as inappropriate. So if you'd have even just watched a music video, like her last music video that she released, I swear she was prancing around in lingerie, the whole thing.
And I just think it's your responsibility as the parent to know what you're taking your kid to see. Like, have you not looked into it at all?
Yeah, so the person that I was having this conversation with was saying that he'd seen her at Summertime Ball. So obviously there was various acts on. So with something like that, would you expect the parent to look into every act that's going to be on to see if they think it's appropriate for the kid?
Maybe
because
not
it could
so
be
much.
that they're taking them to see Brad or Chappell Roan or somebody, and then not that Chappell Roan's much different, but like somebody else, and then Sabrina comes on stage and they're like, whoa, like, you know what I mean?
I think it's a tough one because if you're gonna react that way, if you don't want your child being exposed to things like that, then maybe you should be researching who you're going to see, and maybe you should be aware of that. You could be aware of the times they're on. So if you want to see everyone else, but you're not happy with your kids seeing that, that's when you go get food. You go out of the bowl and you go and find food or drink or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the toilet. Take that as your break. Your kid doesn't even have to know. They probably don't even know.
Yeah. I'm not being funny as well, but I feel like there's going to be a certain age where they're so young that they don't even realise it is sexual. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that was going to be my next point. I mean, the things that we were raised watching.
Yeah. And again, music videos are just as bad. Like, they're like anything around music, if you're a female artist, is usually sexualised to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you're going to take someone to go and see a female artist, it's almost expected. I could be wrong, but I just feel like, especially like with kids, they're either so young that they won't even realise what's going on, they'll just enjoy the performance, like they're not really paying attention to how that person's acting, or they're at a weird age of like 13, 14 where they are kids, 12, 13, 14, but I promise you they're being exposed to worse things that you're letting them to see on TikTok and Instagram.
If you're letting them on social media, they've seen it anyway.
Yeah, so if your kids are on social media and you're taking them to see this concert, I guarantee they're seeing worse anyway, and they're just seeing it closer up.
And they genuinely just probably don't even know what it means. Like, if they've been on TikTok and they've seen, like, the Juno positions, do they know what it means, really? Mm-hmm. Do they think she's just doing silly things?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know that when we were younger, our parents weren't too precious about what we saw. Our favourite VHS tapes to put on were music videos that they had. They still have they have boxes of VHS tapes that are like 80s music videos. And I mean, our favourite ones were like Motley Crue and David Lee Roth. And I'm sorry, but most David Lee Roth videos have women fully tits out.
Very sexualised, yeah.
Like, fully tits out. They're not covered.
And really, like, misogynistic, like, scenes as well in them.
But
of them talking and stuff before
did we know
after.
that was what was going on when we were watching them as kids?
Exactly, this is what I mean, no. But I feel like then on the flip side, when you think of, like, the kids watching the Juno positions, for example, a lot of children now, when they see things on TikTok, there's so many trending dances and stuff going round that they will then learn. Mm-hmm. So maybe the worry around that then is that kid going, these are all the Juno positions, and then they do, have you ever tried this one? And then I'm thinking, kid, get up off the floor. Yeah. That's a bit inappropriate.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand that, but I just think, especially now, maybe not so much when Sabrina was first kicking off as being popular, but now, surely you know what she's about. So if you're still complaining about it in 2026, what are you doing? Because you should know by now that is literally, like, what she's known for, really, let's be real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like,
that's
I'm not
her
being
brand.
funny. Even, I understand that the short and sweet tour was the real, like, the one. Like, she'd got popular before that, but nothing like short and sweet.
No.
That was insane.
Yeah.
But even before that, because obviously that was when it all kind of kicked off with all the parents complaining that it wasn't appropriate for children. But prior to that, she'd already got Nonsense, Feather, so many songs out.
Yeah.
So many songs out that aren't appropriate for children that, like, it wouldn't have been hard to know if you just looked.
Yeah.
Look at the music video for Feather.
Yeah. And Nonsense. Isn't she rolling around on her bed in Nonsense?
Yeah, like, I just think you can blame Sabrina all you want, but she's just putting on her show.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not aware of what she does.
Yeah. Does she have age-restricted concerts at all? Do you know?
I mean, I've never massively understood the age restrictions on concerts because they vary, don't they? They'll have different restrictions for standing than they will for seating. And then...
Is she just a standard 14 plus with adults, do you think?
I think so, but I don't know. I think you could put the age restriction on it, but at what point, like, where's the line then? Because there will still be some parents that aren't happy with their kids seeing that at sort of 12, 13, and some that won't care about it.
Yeah.
So at what point do you put the line on? But you can't put a disclaimer out there and just be like, you know, they're not going to put a pop-up on Ticketmaster that's like, this show is sexual.
Yeah.
Not for children.
Yeah. Maybe that's what parents are expecting, some sort of warning.
But, like, if you know anything about the artist...
Yeah, I agree.
You'd know that. I think the final thing that I would say on this probably is, if that's how you feel about... Because I feel like a lot of concerts now are quite sexualised, or they'll all have something, even just the things they say, or the songs that they're singing mostly. There's always something in the songs. Like, they're all love songs.
Chart music always has had that element of...
Yeah. Then whatever age you think is appropriate for them to be seeing that kind of stuff is maybe when you should start letting them go to concerts.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me, because we weren't taken to concerts as children.
Yeah.
We went to you
kind
had
of
Justin Bieber, but Justin Bieber was a little bit different when it was like his first tour.
Yeah.
But I didn't go to my first gig till I was 12, and I think at that point, like, you've at least done your sex education at school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not that our mum and dad cared, obviously, but if they didn't let us go to a gig until they knew we were, like, ready to. They could have taken us to half of the gigs that they went to.
Yeah.
But for what?
Yeah.
Because I probably would have been terrified.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I probably would have hated it if I went as a kid.
I've said before in the podcast, like, I remember my first concert being like, oh my God, because I didn't go with a parent. I went with a parent of someone else's parent.
Family member.
Yeah, so I remember being like, feeling the bass going through me, thinking, something's wrong with my body. Like, what's going on? And it is crazy. I feel like I'm going on a right tangent here. Like, this is absolutely nothing to do with what we were just talking about, but it is scary going to a concert for the first time. I think that there's always an overwhelming nature to it, especially if you're going in your adolescence. I feel like an adult when you go to your first concert, whatever. But
yeah, no, I think if you don't want your kids seeing certain things, you either need to do your research or you need to just be like, you're not going to a concert until you're this age.
Yeah, and where do you draw the line? Because there's inappropriate. You could call different things inappropriate, and where do you say that that's not appropriate? And that is, for example, Eminem's not sexual, but he has a lot of swearing in his songs. So,
like aggression.
And aggressive, yeah, he is aggressive.
Like,
Machine Gun Kelly, so sexual on stage, and he swears.
have you seen the video of someone falling off the stage?
Hilarious! Oh my God, we need to talk about that. That is so funny. So MGK, if you haven't seen it, got loads of fans up on stage, and I mean loads. There was like 10, 15 fans.
Night,
Got loads of people up on the stage, and this one girl is proper like going for it, isn't she? She's like, yeah.
She's really trying to get his attention.
Like, really, like, rocking out to this song. And then the stage is funny. It looks like it's a design on the stage, but it's not a design on the stage. It's a gap in the stage. And she's, like, proper, like, catwalking down this thing. And then she just steps off the edge of the stage where she doesn't realise is the edge of the stage because it is in the middle, but it's cut. The stage is cut funny, isn't it? It's got, like, a triangle. And, oh, my God, she just falls right down and you just see her head go... And then he helps her up and stuff. And but she's like, I'm okay. But, like, yeah, hilarious. Can you imagine?
Oh, awful.
I bet she was like, that's me. I would be embarrassed in the moment. And then afterwards I'd be like, I am famous.
I am viral.
He's not forgetting me. You know what I mean? Hilarious.
Yeah, it was very funny.
It was so funny. Honestly. So the next point that we'll touch on is supporting music of someone with a controversial personal life. So where that person may not be the kind of person that you really should be supporting, if you will. So do you want to start touching upon that?
I mean, I suppose one of the most controversial people, at least on my radar, would be Ronnie from Falling in Reverse.
Okay, yeah.
And I guess it's on where you draw your own personal line on, like, how do I word this? This is, like, really hard to word. It's where you draw your line on what you're happy to do. Because there would be some people that would be like, no, I can't listen to them now, I can't listen to that band, which I get. Association is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
And then there's the view of, not so much with streaming, but with, like, if you own the album, it's like, well, I've already bought it, he's already had my money.
Yeah, might as well listen.
Like, it's not going to harm anyone to listen to it. Obviously with streaming, different, because they're getting paid per stream, but if you own it, I guess it's down to if it makes you unhappy then to listen to it.
Yeah.
But then there's also I can kind of combine two of the things that we've got to talk about here, because there's also the conversation, especially with Ronnie, as to, is it even real?
Yeah. So what is, if you, I mean, I'm not saying that you do, but what are the ins and outs of Ronnie? Why don't we supposedly like him?
He just, well, this is where the conversation comes in of, is it real? Because a lot of people think that, because he'll go really quiet for ages, he won't say anything. I think he was actually banned from the UK at one point for something that he did. I don't know what that was.
Way. I'm going to have to Google that while you're talking, sorry.
He basically every now and then will just post something where he says something very, very controversial, whether it's like misogynistic or homophobic or racist. He'll come out with something, and that's when people have started to kind of look at it and go, obviously it's not okay to post that kind of stuff anyway.
Yeah, I'm not supporting that, whether it's an act or whether it's real.
Yeah, so some people are saying, like, because he'll just go really, really quiet for ages, and then every now and then he'll just post something really controversial. Is it just
for the clout?
Yeah, like, is it just rage bait? Is it just to go viral?
Yes, Ronnie Radke was effectively banned from entering the United Kingdom in December 24 when the UK Home Office denied his visa application. This forced his ban. Oh, why did they deny his? The denial was based on strict UK immigration rules regarding criminal records. So it's because he had a criminal record. His conviction was he served approximately 2.5 years in prison, allegedly, starting in 2008 for a probation violation related to a 2006 battery charge.
Battery.
One of the most touch moments of all time. So,
are we composed?
I think I'm composed. I think I'm okay. We can continue. So, he wasn't allowed to come to the UK. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got an example to move us away from this topic. Okay. So, as a less controversial, like this person that I'm about to speak to wasn't arrested for anything, and she was just it was a bit, I don't know, controversial. So Chappell Roan, she was like controversial around posting a video on TikTok about how she owes her fans nothing, and I think it was around a fan asking her for a photo or for a hug or something, and she was like, no, go away. But I don't think it was as simple as, no, I'm sorry, like, I'm not feeling that right now. I think that she was rude to the fan.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
I think so. Been a while.
I think she was rude to the fan, and then she posted a TikTok video saying, I don't owe you anything, like, you shouldn't approach, which I understand that I personally don't like approaching celebrities on the street. If I see a celebrity, I will message you and say, I've seen this celebrity, but it's rare that I'll go up to them. In fact, I think that the only time I have is when my friend's gone up to them to say, like, oh, my friend's a massive fan of you, but she's too embarrassed to come over, because I am too embarrassed to be like, hello, I'm a fan. Oh my God, I love you. Oh my God, I love you so much. Like, actually, for real, when I met Connor, I was like, this is so funny because you don't know me at all, but
this is the biggest moment of my life.
Yeah, like, and this is just crazy.
I know where you live.
No, okay, well, not that extreme, but like, I know everything about you. I didn't know if you wanted that on the internet.
He's not exactly discreet, is he?
Well, no, he's not. But yeah, so there's the controversy around Chappell Roan, and for a long time I was like, I don't care. She was quite small at the time. If I remember correctly, she only had Hot to Go Out, which came out and like made her like an overnight sensation or something like that. Like there was something that had made her just blow off, but she came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And she put this whole thing out where it was like, I don't owe you anything, meh, 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 meh. And I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, I kind of understand it coming from Justin Bieber, you know what I mean? Who's like, please leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
I've been in the limelight for 20 years and I'm sick of this shit. Like, I understand it.
Also, Bieber fans are like something
crazy.
Else, man.
Yeah.
Like,
wild. A different species. However, for Chappell Roan, who I just can't see of having that much that many people coming up to her and that much like stick around her.
Especially just on the daily, because she looks so different.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to be a very big fan, I think, to know what she looks like just on a normal day, because she has so much makeup and such a wild look.
Yeah.
On stage.
It's iconic, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, very different to an everyday average look. But yeah, I didn't want to support her for the longest time because I thought, well, you do owe your fans. I'm not saying you have to have a photo and have a hug with every fan. Like, I think that the fan wanted to hug her and she was like, that's my personal space. Like, I don't want you touching me. Which I understand if you're not, like, you wouldn't want loads of people coming up to you, hugging you because of the way that your brain is.
It's fine to have boundaries.
Which is fine, but you don't have to make a whole video saying, I don't fucking owe my fans anything, don't come up to me, X, Y, Z. I just think the way she went about it, even if that is how she feels, like, you are in the public eye, so have some respect, and these people are doing it because they love you, and you've got to see it from that side.
It's all to do with, like, tone and respect, isn't it? Because, like, again, I find it's such a blurred line, because if you look at it as a job, that's her job.
Sorry, I'm thinking about it again.
I can tell.
Sorry. Carry on.
Like, that's her job.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And, like, I wouldn't want anything to do with, like, customers at work, outside of work.
Life. Yeah.
So, it's such a tough line. And, like, there's been a whole thing around, I remember it going absolutely viral, and it circled around on my feed again recently, of when Matty Healy was in an interview and he said, if people want to charge for meet and greets, like, they should be taking the money personally out of their hand. Like, take your picture with your fan and be like, that's 20 quid then. And take that money from them. You might hesitate more than...
Interesting.
Than, like, obviously them paying for the meet and greet and then they meet you.
I'd give Bradley Will Simpson £60.
I don't know. I find it very interesting because at the end of the day, it is their job. So, like, if I was expected to do an extra couple of hours at work and meet everyone and talk to people, I would want paying for that.
I agree, but don't you think that, like, so... I don't know if you would class this, but I think that without the fans, they don't have music to make, right? They're not making money from it without the fans buying the music.
Yeah.
So I think they have some sort of obligation to the fans, where she was saying, I have no obligation to give you anything.
But
I do think that you have some sort of obligation. But Tesco, I think it's different. I don't think the customers give me my job because I'd just work in another shop. Like, or I'd just work in another restaurant.
But it's the same
But I'd have a different kind of respect to my... like the person that had hired me. Do you know what I mean? So like I wouldn't say I don't owe you anything to the person giving me my wages, which would be like Emma. I wouldn't say I don't owe you anything because I do. You're keeping me in a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But how would if you translated that to a band, that means that they owe their management, not their fans?
No, because their management are hiring them because of who they are. Which their fans are making them. Their fans are making them famous.
Not necessarily, though.
I think so.
Managements can hire bands if they see the potential. They don't necessarily need to already have a following.
Okay, fair. But I feel like most people now, especially with TikTok, it's like you blow up and they seek you. In which case, you don't owe that person that seeked you out. I mean, guaranteed they've helped you along the way. So maybe you do owe them. But more than anything, you owe your fans because they've got you to... They're the ones buying your music. If you're in a small business, you owe your customers because they're keeping you thriving. And like maybe the CEO of Tesco owes the customers, you know what I mean? Because they're keeping his business alive. But it's not my business. I'm just working for you.
Yeah.
Is how I feel about it.
I
feel like artists owe their fans a lot more than a shop worker owes a customer.
I mean, obviously it's a tough one to use as an example, because obviously, like, working in Tesco, people need food. They're going to go and buy food from wherever.
No, maybe that is the difference. Maybe that is the difference.
But if you translated it just as work, music is their job. And granted, it's a great job. It's a fun job. Has its downsides, of course. But
those people are supporting you. The people that are buying from Tesco aren't doing it because they want me.
Well, this is where I think there's the difference, because if someone just approached them on, like, if they're out and about, I think it is different, because that's not like set time. Whereas if they're doing a meet and greet and that is hours and hours and hours of their time, you would want paying for that if it was your job. If you were expected to stay over for hours at work, you would want paying for that. Whereas just bumping into someone on the street,
agree,
it's a little bit different.
I agree. And I will say, I'm not the kind of person that will go up and openly be like, hi. And maybe it's because I'm nervous, but I don't want to interrupt that person's day. And I know that a lot of people will say, like, I don't mind. I find it really nice that when people come up and say that there's a podcast that I follow, and Kathleen is always like, whenever someone comes up and says they've come from the podcast, I'm like, oh my God, that is so lovely. And she's like, and she loves to hear it, because she knows that she likes to know that people are enjoying what she's doing. And I think that is nice, but I personally just don't like inflicting anything onto that person, like, especially if they were sat eating or anything like that, you know what I mean? Like, you're interrupting
timing
them.
And context is important.
Yeah,
for sure.
But if you just walk past someone and you say, oh my God, I really like your music, do you mind if I have a photograph? And they say, no, I really appreciate that you love my music, but I'm really not feeling it today to have a photograph. I hope that's okay, but thank you so much for approaching me. That's a fine conversation to have, you know what I mean? But for you to go, no, basically fuck off, and then create a video saying, leave me alone, I don't owe you anything, is so rude that I did not want to support her, because I was like, firstly, who the fuck are you? Where have you come from to have such a stick up your ass? But secondly, there's a way to go about saying these things.
Yeah.
However, therefore I didn't want to support Chappell Roan. Here we are now, and I just can't resist her music. I'm sorry, it's so good. I'm sorry. I tried for the longest time to be like, I'm not listening to it. I'm not listening to it. But I really like her music, so I do listen to it now. And it's like you say, it's where you draw the line of, is this person a good person? And I'm not saying she's a bad person by any means. I don't know anything about her really. I just was pissed off at that video. But it's like, where do you draw a line between I really like the music and should I be supporting that person? It's a hard decision.
Yeah, for sure. There's still the, like, how real is it of it all? Like, it would be an interesting move, but you never know if someone's posting these things knowing that they're going to go viral. Because as much as she may have lost some fans from that, she might have gained a lot from it being talked about, and then people going, who even is she? And then listening to the music. And there was the same kind of... There was a lot of controversy around the 1975 tour, where Matty Healy had this whole persona on stage,
drinking,
like being as completely drunk, just seeming like a bit of an arrogant prat.
Yeah,
is probably the way I'd describe it.
The best way to describe it, really. Yeah.
And then there was is it just a stage persona? Is it just like, is that his character that he's playing?
Yeah.
Or is he actually like that? Because the way that people perceived him when they've met him, like, on the street and stuff, they're like, he's not like that. Like, he's been so lovely.
Yeah.
Is that the persona?
Yeah, you don't know, do you? You don't. Only the people that are actually friends with these people will ever know, because as someone irrelevant, I'm never going to really truly know the truth.
And this is where the parasocial relationships are dangerous.
Yeah, really dangerous, because I have always been in camp. I think that he's a bit up himself, but, like, not a bad person. And then, like, that's just how he acts on stage. But I don't know, man. I know that, like, interviews and videos on TikTok and stuff are a bad way to think about somebody, because, again, he could just be carrying that persona into these other, because he's ready for them. Like, you know what I mean? He's ready for the camera. he knows he's being interviewed. He knows who he's got to be. He knows he's about to film a video for TikTok, so he knows who he's going to be and he can put on that character. So it could be that he's still just putting on this character, but he's just so odd. Have you seen some of the videos he's been releasing? He's so strange.
Not recently, no.
So
I
strange.
mean, I could say the same about Austin Knight at the moment. His videos are very unhinged.
Yeah.
I can't tell who he is. He's a different person in every video, in every story of someone meeting them.
Yeah. Me and Harrison.
He's keeping the parasocial relationships at bay because who the knows who he is.
I agree. Me and Harrison were talking about this the other day. He said, surely you can't like him as much as you used to. I said, what do you mean? And he was like, he's just so strange. He's like, so, like, I don't know how to explain it. He's not like a normal person. And I was like, I mean, I don't know how you can define that, but I find him very interesting. And I've always said, like, because you know, when you have these conversations about your celebrity crushes and the people that you like and stuff, I've always absolutely loved Austin Knight. But I've always said I couldn't date him. Not that he'd ever date me, but like I couldn't date him because I just think we're completely opposite people. Like he feels very ADHD, like very. And I do feel like Americans have a completely different humour and a way of thinking to Brits. I do just think that we don't quite understand each other.
The cultural differences are wild. How people make it work. I think if you're a Brit that's successfully with an American, then you probably don't have the typical British sense of humour.
Yeah.
Or somehow they get it. I don't know. But
yeah. Obviously, every person's different, and you can't speak for all Americans versus all Brits. Like you just can't. But I do feel like Austin is like one of his own. Talking about him, like, and he is a bit odd. He shaved, he cut his hair on camera, like in silence. He just starts a live stream and shaves. He doesn't say a word. He just shaves his beard and then ends his live streams. He's an oddball. He is. But I think that's what intrigues me about him.
As a guess, I think he's smart.
Okay.
I think you've said before he's talked a lot about like he was trying to get famous. He wasn't just making the music because he liked it. He was trying to go viral. He was trying to get famous.
He tried to make a career out of music, and he has, but like he pushed for it.
I think he's smart. I think he posts very strange videos, but I think it's all plotted. I think it's scheming. I think it's like...
Okay.
I think it's all intentional, personally.
I don't think that he ever does anything that it just goes over his head. I agree, he's very strategic.
Like, the whole thing last year of Otto being a murderer.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was all over my TikTok feed.
Yeah.
All over
it. He's a clever man, and I do think that anything that he puts out there is very thought about, and that's evident in all of his music videos and all of his advertising and stuff, like his lead ups to things, like he puts Easter eggs in everything. He's a very smart, like you say, a very intelligent man, and I do think that he puts thought behind everything that he releases. But I support him because he's not done anything bad. He's just not your typical person.
Strange.
Yeah.
Like, his videos come across as a very strange person.
In the best way. I just love him. But I just find him so intriguing.
I think it's all strategy, personally.
That's fair. That is fair.
That's how I see it.
So I wonder where you guys would draw the line as to where you're like, yeah, that person has been X, Y, Z. Where do I draw a line to not support them? I feel like this is a good segue into, I wanted to talk about the fact that As It Is have actually dropped from... their label, is it? Let me just have a look.
Their management, I think.
Their management.
And there's a few people that have done the same kind of thing with all of the... It's essentially all to do with the Epstein files, isn't it? And I think... I haven't actually looked at it properly because I think it might have been a post on their story rather than their feed because there was nothing on it. But from that post that As It Is put up that you're about to see, someone said that Hot Mulligan had said the same thing as well, but I couldn't see that post.
Like you say, it might be a story.
But I think it might have been put on their story.
So As It Is posted saying, following the recent discovery of Casey, I don't know how you say his last name, Wasserman or Washerman It's double S, but I'm not sure how you pronounce it. His involvement with Epstein. We want to stress we stand with the victims, and these actions do not align with this band. We are not supporting that in any way, basically, is what they're saying. Whilst we are on his agency, we signed specifically with our agents who have worked hard on this project, and we have loyally moved with, and we have who have worked hard on this project, and we have loyally moved with through various agencies. We trust our team will do the right thing and ask for your patience and trust while we wait for our team to work out what their moves are. Whatever happens, we know we will no longer be under Wasserman, but we are giving our agents time to find their feet first. So they're like, we don't want to put anyone out of job. We don't want to drop anyone that we don't have to.
Yeah.
We need to
our
move.
agents are good. We want to stick with our agents.
We
but
need to
they
move
need
specifically,
to find,
but we will not be associated under his name. So,
and I think it's a really good post because that at least comes across to me as so honest. Like, they've not just been straight up like, we're leaving them. Like, it's a business and it takes time to figure these things out.
Yeah.
So you've got to make those calls. You've got to figure out, like, those agents need to then find the agency or the person to be under. It's not that instant as much as you might want it to be. It's not that instant because if they just dropped now and had nowhere to get that money from, it could be the end of funding for the band.
Yeah.
That could be it.
Yeah. But, yeah, so it's important to note that he is moving away, even if it's slowly, but he's not, like, well, the band, the agents, they're not willing to be associated with someone that, and you'd like to think that none of these people knew about it before and it came out and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that you are associated with him. I'm leaving. And not that it's like, oh, it's out now, we need to leave so that we're not discriminated. Like, we're not, depicted is the wrong word, but they're not in the crossfires, basically, of what's going on. So I think that it's really important to know, like, okay, when to, like, completely, that's like an extreme case of we cannot stand with this person because it's not right. And I think that it's very important to have those conversations because there are bad people in the world and those bad people do not deserve anything. Not when they've done things like that. But it's all about just knowing where that line is, and that line's going to be different for every single person, right? Like, someone might just be like, I don't really care about Chappell Roan because that video isn't affecting anyone in the grand scheme of things. I'm never going to meet her and I still like her music. And where's that line for other people? I'd be really interested to know in the comments where you're like, okay, I can't support this person because they did X. I would really like to know because I don't really have that many examples of people that I'm like, they're awful, we can't support them. I didn't know about Ronnie and I only really had the little thing about Chappell Roan to comment on and obviously Matty.
Yeah. Wasn't what country singer was it that like threw a chair off the roof and everyone was like,
Morgan Wallen.
That could so have like killed
someone. Yeah, I think he did go to jail, didn't he, for that for a little bit?
Yeah, I think
he was at least
arrested.
Yeah,
like
detained
don't
for
know
a bit.
If he was like sentenced as such.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, like I say, it would be really interesting to see your guys' opinions and controversial thoughts on the different topics that we've covered today, because I am kind of always the kind of person that will see things from both sides. I'm never fully like black and white, this is what I think. So I like to be open-minded and hear what other people are thinking. So it'd be really interesting to hear you guys' thoughts.
And I'm very opinionated, so let's argue.
But yeah, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that's
I feel like I've really enjoyed this episode. It was something a bit different to what we usually do, but I quite enjoyed it. So hopefully you guys did too, and I really appreciate you all watching. Thank you very much for watching this video. I apologise for the little interruption in the middle of my absolute breakdown into tears, but we got through it in the end. Thank you again for watching another episode, and we will see you next Thursday with a brand new episode. Bye.